Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kudlow. I'm Larry Kudlow. So earlier today, President Biden told us everything in his cradle-to-grave massive spending plan is paid for. Oh, really? You sure, Mr. President? Well, we're going to have to dig in a little bit on that one. I mean, first up, the size of the spending plan is not $3.5 trillion. When the gimmicks are taken out and it's scored by the CBO on a 10-year basis, it's going to be at least $4.5 to $5 trillion, and maybe even higher than that. So we'll begin with that point. But the second point, the Joint Tax Committee, which is the official revenue scorecard, they have priced out the Ways and Means tax markup as generating only $2 trillion in revenue. So that's a pretty big spread between the bid, which I'll call $5 trillion, and the offer, which I'll call $2 trillion from the Joint Tax Committee. So there's no pay for there. And right there, the president should have a problem, and he really shouldn't be telling everyone everything's going to be paid for, because they're not even close. That's the government's official scorecard. Interestingly, the University of Pennsylvania Wharton model shows similarly a $2.4 trillion. Again, way below spending. And my favorite model, the dynamic scoring model from the Tax Foundation, which properly takes into account the economic damage that major tax hikes and anti-work entitlements will inflict on the economy. Well, they're estimating a sizable decline in GDP and workforce wages and jobs. So on balance, they expect only a $1 trillion revenue gain from these taxes, which is a very long stone's throw from a $5 trillion price tag. Now, I'll just make one more quick point here. One of the big pay-fors in this 2,500-page House reconciliation bill is, I think it's still in there, $700 billion in so-called savings from drug price controls and related issues. Well, they'll never see anything close to that kind of money, and I'm not even sure any of that policy is going to get into the final reconciliation package, because Americans don't want socialized medicine. And then there's hundreds of billions of dollars from so-called IRS tax cheats, which are a perennial plug in budget estimates to offset spending, and this too will never happen. Then, of course, the president threw in a little class warfare in his press conference today, as always, telling us again for the umpteenth time, the rich don't pay their fair share. Now, I refer to this as the big lie. It's completely fact-free, but he keeps repeating it, thereby using an old totalitarian propaganda approach. Did someone say facts? Well, once again, I'm going to repeat this from the IRS data, that the top 1% of taxpayers pay 40% of all the income taxes, 40%. Meanwhile, the bottom 2 quintiles, or the bottom 40% of taxpayers, actually have a negative income tax. In other words, they get more in benefits than they pay out in taxes. And actually, when you look at it, the whole bottom half of income taxpayers basically don't pay any taxes at all. So I'm sorry, Mr. President. I know you're a class warrior, and I know you really want to go after those horrible, wealthy people, and you're dying to punish success, and you're dying to put your big government socialism program. But your only problem is there's no facts to back up your assertions. Now, I get that that may not matter, but I'm just saying, no facts. Another point the president made this morning is how popular his program is. He said every element of my economic plan is overwhelmingly popular. You think? Actually, polls are telling us a different story right now. Mr. President, your overall approval rating is dropping towards 40%. Now, that's a big drop of roughly 20 points in just a couple of months, which is not an easy thing to do. I just saw a poll this morning that actually said if the election were held today, President Trump would beat you. Just saying. But regarding your economics, the most recent Fox News poll shows the #1 problem issue in America with an 82% rating is inflation. Now, if you run your thumb down the page, you'll see Afghanistan, amnesty, immigration, COVID. But I'm not finding massive spending, entitlement, welfare dependency on that list, nor am I finding big tax hikes. Another good poll is the IBD TIP poll, and that shows that 43% fear new spending will exacerbate inflation. Only 26% believe new spending will bring inflation down. Remember when you told us a month ago more spending would lower inflation? Well, it's not really working out for you. Now, I know Americans are generous people, and we've already spent around $6 trillion in pandemic relief money. But spending another $6 trillion from here, well, sir, I don't think it's really catching on. And as for your tax hikes on those terrible companies and equally bad investors, you've managed to generate a very strong coalition against you. The really blue chip big boys, known as the Business Roundtable, now they are firmly aligned with small business and FIB against your tax proposals, against. And even the Chamber of Commerce, which gave all kinds of money to many of your Democratic supporters, especially in the House. Well, even the Chamber is against you. So I know popularity may be in the eyes of the beholder, but I'm not beholding much popularity with your program. I still think, by the way, Joe Manchin has it right with his strategic pause idea, pausing all the way into next year. Mr. Manchin wants to take a closer look at the spending and inflation story. And he's not near as much of a taxer as you and Bernie Sanders are, and I dare say Manchin's position is becoming more and more popular, while your position is weakening. And the fact that your position is weakening, I think, is a big reason why the stock market has held up so well. Lower reconciliation odds, higher share prices. Now, markets thinking maybe you won't eviscerate all their profits with your tax hikes after all. And finally, a bunch of smart Republican senators have introduced an interesting new bill called No Hearing, No Vote. Now, they're actually reprising a bill first brought by Senator Chuck Schumer back in 2017. And all these folks want is some public hearings to thoroughly discuss all of the potential consequences of your massive spending and taxing spree. The term, of course, is regular order. Now, it is a lost art, but I think it would be a very good idea. In fact, folks, we have one of the ringleaders of the No Hearing, No Vote bill as our top guest this evening, that being Senator Rick Scott of Florida, who is the chairman of the National Republican Senatorial Committee, and he's looking forward to a very good year next year. So I'll just conclude my riff by saying this: Save America. All right, we welcome you to the show.